Hello, welcome to the second episode of my YouTube channel regarding drop shipping, and in particular using retail arbitrage between two different marketplaces to make money. So last week, because it has been a week since I did a video, last week when I done my first video, I had two listings. I put on a second one which has now come off because it was a very short-term offer from a supplier, so I've removed that now. But I currently have 10 listings. Wow, you know, that's some of you guys are doing, and some people out there are doing, 10 listings a day. I'm not kind of rushing this, and I'm trying different methods, and I'm looking at information from different people. So for example, Becky and from Mark, they've both got two very different strategies. Becky is using a hunch-based system from what I can tell, and Mark is using evidence-based systems. And they're both in a competition at the moment to see who can sell the most in a month on eBay UK. So I'm really interested to see the results on those. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a link to these guys in the bottom of my video, because I'm looking at these guys pretty much on a daily basis now, and I'm looking at the videos as soon as they come out, and I think they're certainly worth looking at. The information they've got is great. So what have I found so far about doing this? And there's one thing that I've got to say straight off the bat is, do not try to do this on a mobile phone. Please, if you can, do it on a laptop or do it on a desktop, because trying to do this on a mobile phone is horrendous. Trying to get copies of this and Google imaging this, and you've got to be in 3 different, it's really awkward on a mobile phone. I'm out on the road a lot, I'm kind of in between jobs. I have an office, and I am being a bit more in the office, which I've only just opened, but it's, it is hard trying to do everything on a very small screen with very limited sort of functionality, should I say. Whereas if you're on your desktop, or on a laptop, it's much easier. That's the first tip I can give anybody. Second thing that I've kind of come across, and I only found this out last night, was that Mark from DS Genie has spoken on a number of occasions about how you can do all this without the need of his software, which is fantastic, because it means he's not just trying to sell you the software. The software, which I don't use at this moment in time, I will say that I don't use DS Genie currently. Looks like it can be excellent, but I don't want to go into DS Genie just yet until I've really got the basics battened down, until I understand it, because I'm one of these people. I don't like software doing stuff that I don't know what it's doing, and just oh yeah, it's kicking this result out. Well, why? I'm very analytical, and I like to sort of know and work things, so that's just how I am. But I signed up to Terapeak 2 nights ago, and one of the things that I was hoping to do was leverage the 1 week free of Terapeak and just basically hit sellers, get a seller list, and using that free period to get 200-300 sellers on a list. Then I can go through and I can start getting their details and chunking through without having to pay for Terapeak. What I didn't know was that Terapeak no longer offers the user competitor research tool. I didn't know this, so now I've got this software, and I've looked at it quickly, but 7 days isn't going to be enough for me to sort of get my head right around it, because I don't want to be paying for it. I mean, I'm on a real tight budget here. I mean, tight really is the word. So I don't want to spend money where I can't. I don't need to spend money. So I'm kind of now looking at how I can utilize other sources of information to get what I need. And I think I may have come across a website that I was using several years ago when I wanted to do a bit of competitor research. But I need to do a bit of comparatives to see if it gives the same information to something else. So I'm not going to go, hey guys, go use this. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to test it first, and then in my next video I will come back and say, look, this works, you get exactly the same information, and it's free. So that's what I'll do. But I don't want to sort of give out a bit of information. You guys say, oh no, that's rubbish, we don't want to be using that. Okay, so that's kind of my experiences so far. There is one more thing I need to tell you about, and that links into two sections. The first thing is that I've optimized my titles. I know Mark says don't do that. Mark says don't do that. Becky says do that. So this is what I'm saying. I'm playing with things. I'm looking at what's going on. Some things I'm just taking. They're hunch-based listings. They're not evidence-based, but I'm optimizing them. And I've made my first sale. I have 10 listings and I've made 1 sale, and I've been at this a week. Fantastic. And I am absolutely, I'm delighted that it's happened, but I'm not going to get ecstatic that it's happened, because I also at the same time had an email from PayPal telling me that the money was going to be held off from the customer for up to 30 days, which is, I understand why they're doing it, because they want to protect the purchaser more than the seller. But what it means is that I can't cash flow. I've got to cash flow the sales now, because everyone that comes in for a certain period until I've reached the criteria, which I'll tell you what that is in a minute, I have to pay for every sale out of my pocket. So I'm not ecstatic, because a saying to me is, well, one of the sayings that somebody used to say to me is that it's not a sale until you've got the cash in your hand. At this moment in time, I still don't have the cash. The goods are being delivered probably tomorrow, on the next day, and then the customer's got to be happy with it. Otherwise, they're going to put a log in, and I'm going to have to do a refund. So at this moment in time, the cash isn't in my hand, so therefore it's not a finalized sale in my mind. I'm ecstatic that it's worked, which is great. So I'll keep you posted on what happens with that. But the criteria that PayPal wants or have in place to protect this is that you have to have more than 25 sales. You have to be operational for a certain length of time. You must have an above standard seller account, and a total of £175 of sales. So at the moment, as I mentioned in my last video, my account was at 10 sales. Some of them weren't even sales, some of them are purchases. So I've got to go some way now to making another 24 sales, 20 sales possibly, before that money is flowing through my account. So in retrospect, I'm kind of glad that I've not rushed in and done 10 listings a day, because if I'd got successful, I would have soon come unstuck, because I couldn't bankroll the sales. And as simple as that. So I've kind of held off putting any more listings on, and what I'm going to do is maybe try and sell some very cheap items very quickly, just to turn them over. But it is a restriction. So yeah, it's great. Sorry, the sun's in my eyes here. It's sitting in my car. So it's, you know, it's worked, it's great, but I found a block, well, a challenge. It's not a block. Yeah, it will work itself out. I will get the money within 5 days, they reckon, which is fantastic. So you know, that's where I am. As to my listings, I think my listings are working very well. Listings that I've put on there have been on there a week, just a little bit, about a week now. 2 of them are at 200 views with about 14 or 15 watchers on each one. 1 of them is sold. The other items that I've got, the other 8, are gaining pace on the viewings. So something's working. In my mind, something is looking right. So yeah, that's about as far as I've got. I know that somebody's watching these videos, as I've had 4 views on my first one. Great. I have no idea who you are, guys, but I doubt I'm actually adding any value to your experience at this point in time. And as I mentioned in my last video, I want to be able to document it as I go, because I'll never be able to recreate this. This is raw. This is, you know, to me, as it happens. I could, in 6 months' time, when I've sold, you know, I'm selling so much a month or whatever, go back and recreate an account and show you. But I know the niggles. I know what to do, get around them. At the moment, it's just I'm getting the problems and working around them as we go. So it's a learning curve for me, and I hope that when you watch back, you go through and say, oh right, we need to be aware of this, we need to be aware of that, and you can see it firsthand. So what I'll do is I'll put some links down to Becky and Mark. Next video, I'm going to tell you about the competitor research tool that I'm checking out, which is free. You know, there's no monthly subscriptions, but I want to check it first that it gives the right information, and yeah, hopefully more sales. Yeah, certainly, you know, gonna go out and look at what other listings I can put in. I don't want to go too heavy because of the PayPal restriction, which is a shame because Christmas is coming as well. I was kind of hoping to get more sort of fluid by that time. And but yeah, I say I've looked at Terapeak. It looks like a great piece of software, but I just cannot afford to run it right now. So I'm going to do this as cheap as I can. I'm going to knock that subscription on the head and try other methods, which are maybe a little bit long-winded, but I have to. That's the way it's got to be at the moment. And anything else that I had in, yes, the one item that I took off had a number of watches, and the moment I ended the sale, because I had no sales, one of the watchers got in touch asking if they could purchase the item, and I emailed them back and said through eBay, but hence because I know that they do tend to monitor communications to make sure that nobody's selling outside of eBay, and I said yes, I can relist the item. The price hadn't gone up that much, and I could have still made a decent, you know, a good little bit of profit on it, not as much as before. However, they emailed me back and asked if they could actually come and view the goods, and I emailed them back and said, I'm sorry, I am an online store, goods are sold as new, simple as that, and left it there. I've not heard from them since, so obviously they're a bit wary about that side. So that's the end of this one. I'll do the next one as soon as I can. I am looking at other items as well, not just Terapeak. I've also been checking out AliExpress to see how that works. I am also looking at other drop shipping information from other sources, not just Mark and Becky. I do believe in having a holistic approach and getting information from many areas. But my takeaway thought at the end of this video for you guys is to not try to overload yourself with information. And I'm terrible for it. I'm a real sucker for that. I just want to know all the details, and I look and I look and I look and I get all the details together. But the problem is that you get what they call analysis paralysis. You don't do anything. You've got all this information, but you're not doing anything with it. So I am doing stuff with my information, but I am still trying to get more information in. But the videos, I'm always looking at the videos, and what I mean is that I'm finding it a bit hard now to try and retrace back to where I saw something. Say for example about Terapeak, I know that Mark did a video about how to do a competitor research on Terapeak, but I can't find the video. I can't remember where it was, but I know that I've seen it. I know he went through it, and I can't, you know, you can go through all these videos, you can keep going and getting all this information, but you really, from my perspective right now, is to systemize this approach as well as systemizing the dropshipping business at the back end when you've got it there. Systemize this approach and look at what you need to do. Don't go out there and start just sponging all the information, because you're picking up bits here and there and you just can't remember where the source came from. Well, I can't anyway. You know, I'm getting old, my mind's going. But just look at Mark's DS Genie training, the 1 hour sessions that he's got on his website. That is the best place to start. Start with that, look at what Becky's doing, and just emulate what they are doing and try doing it for yourself. And other information that you can get, if you want to pay for them information, that's fine, that's entirely up to you. I'm just tight. Okay, so to me, I want to do it economically and cheap, and as I scale it up, I will introduce and invest more money into it. Okay, so the end of this video. I look forward to doing the next one. So thank you very much. Goodbye.